So you have one of those kids. You know, the one who can't get enough horror, but also the one who will sleep with the light on and wake you up because they had a bad dream. Trust me, one of these kids is living under my roof. So if you've got one of those little, but not too little, I hope, who's got that horror itch, let's take a dive into the kiddie pool of terror. So I want to explore some films that are just scary enough to make them jump, but won't invoke the need for them to seek therapy for the rest of their lives. I like to think of these films as horror with training wheels.
I'm so scared right now, you shut up!
You suck, you jackass!
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video to check out what this jackass has to say. I appreciate you. So today I'll list a few films and briefly describe what makes them great horror films for kids. I'll also let you know what age range I think is appropriate and where you can stream these movies if you so desire to show these to your adventurous little horror fan in the making. So without further ado, let us dip our toes into the world of kid-friendly horror. Number 15. Coming in at number 15 is not a film I'd consider good, but my kids aged 7 to 11 just love it. Now this is regarded as a dog shit movie by most, but I'm very indifferent about it. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, and would have forgotten it existed if the tiny humans occupying my household hadn't watched it at least 20 times. I'm of course talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie's about a young guy named Mike who takes a job as a night guard at an old abandoned pizzeria. This place is home to some seriously creepy animatronic mascots that come to life at night. Oh, and these animatronics happen to be possessed by the spirits of murdered children. I think kids are obsessed with this movie because of the viral games, the cute but creepy characters, the mystery, and the themes of bravery and family. It's a great way to introduce them to horror without scaring them too much. The PG-13 rating means it's just spooky enough to be fun, but not so bad that they're gonna have nightmares. Although critics were harsh, if you watch this with your kids ages 7 and up, you may have an ideal introduction to the genre for that young thrill seeker. Number 14. Number 14 is a personal favorite from when I was a kid, the great and underrated Monster Squad. I've watched this movie with my oldest every Halloween for the last few years, and honestly, she can't get enough of it. This 1987 classic follows a group of preteen misfits as they battle real-life monsters, including Dracula, the Wolfman, and Frankenstein's monster. It's the perfect blend of spooky fun and empowerment, with kids as the heroes using their horror movie knowledge to save the day. The film's got relatable themes, iconic imagery, and just the right amount of scares to thrill without going overboard. It's a timeless cult classic that's become a staple in many horror fans' childhoods. Number 13. If, like me, you're a fan of the Evil Dead movies and want to introduce your youngin' to something similar, look no further than number 13, 1987's The Gate. This cult classic stars a very young Stephen Dorff as Glenn, a 12-year-old who accidentally opens a portal to a demonic realm in his backyard. Along with his metal-loving friend Terry and his older sister Al, Glenn must battle an army of tiny monsters and close the gate before it's too late. I think The Gate offers just the right amount of balance of scares and fun for the younger viewers. It features impressive stop-motion effects, a creepy atmosphere, and intense moments without excessive gore or violence. I love the practical effects, they're amazing in this, and some moments may give the younger ones some genuine scares, but it's fun to watch for the parents. Think of it as Evil Dead for kiddos. It has similar themes of unleashing demons and fighting to survive, but it's toned down for a PG-13 audience. With its blend of 80s nostalgia, practical effects, and kids save the world plot, The Gate is an excellent introduction to horror for tweens who are ready to graduate from Scooby-Doo but aren't quite prepared for more intense adult affair. It's a perfect gateway, pun very much intended, into the world of horror cinema. Number 12. At number 12 is Monster Summer. This is a movie that's still in the theater, but I was so impressed that I had to put it on this list. You can check out the review of my movie on the short section of my channel, but it's a solid horror adventure film for the whole family, kind of in the same realm of Stranger Things, I guess you could say. In Martha's Vineyard in 1997, teenager Noah and his friends investigate a series of mysterious child disappearances. With the help of a reclusive ex-detective named Eugene, they uncover a supernatural threat stealing children's spiritual energy. As they race to save their friend Ben and other affected kids, Noah and his team must confront the true nature of the monster terrorizing their community. It has a creepy atmosphere, a fun story, an excellent performance by Mel Gibson, and some decent jump scares. My 7 and 8-year-olds loved it, and the youngest was only mildly scared, so it's something I say you can check out with the whole fam. Number 11. At number 11 is another Mel Gibson gem, Signs, filled with alien-induced anxiety that provides just the proper amount of horror and drama for those mini-yous. This 2002 flick stars Mel Gibson as a washed-up preacher who's lost his faith as mysterious signs start popping up in his cornfield. Before you know it, the whole world's gone alien crazy. Throw in Joaquin Phoenix as the world's most useless brother and 2 kids who are actually bearable, and you've got yourself a recipe for family-friendly terror. M. Night Shyamalan, the twist-loving bastard, keeps the scares coming without resorting to buckets of blood or eyeball-eating gore. It's all about that tension, baby. You'll be on the edge of your seat wondering what's lurking in those corn stalks and jumping at every alien finger that pokes under a door. I know the ending's a big turnoff for many, but I think this movie's suitable for kids ages 8 and up. So if you want to give your kids a taste of horror without scarring them for life, Signs is an excellent bet. It's got faith, family, and freaky aliens. What more could you ask for? Number 10. At number 10, we've got Krampus. This 2015 horror comedy stars Adam Scott, Toni Collette, and David Koechner, bringing their A-game to A Christmas Tale Gone Wrong. The plot starts when young Max loses his festive spirit, accidentally summoning Krampus, a demonic anti-Santa who's hell-bent on punishing his dysfunctional family. This is why I think it's perfect for kids dipping their toes into horror. It's got just the right mix of scares and laughs without going overboard on gore. The film's PG-13 rating ensures it's more about spooky thrills than nightmare fuel, making it a great starter horror movie for older kids. Plus, it's packed with dark humor and a twisted take on holiday cheer that'll keep both kids and adults entertained. I love it. I watch it every Christmas. Number 9. At number 9, we have Monster House, the animated horror comedy that'll have the whole family on the edge of their seats. This flick follows 3 plucky kids who discover their neighbor's house is actually a living, breathing monster. It has a special blend of humor and mild scares. It has a PG rating, so it ensures it's just the right level of creepy without being too much. Plus, the stunning animation brings the monstrous abode to life in a terrifying and visually captivating way. Monster House does explore deeper themes than you generally see in an animated kids movie, and it's held up quite well over these years. If you haven't checked this one out, it's a film that never disappoints. Number 8. At number 8, we have a twofer, Happy Death Day and its sequel, Happy Death Day to You. These 2 films are a delightful, clever twist on the slasher genre that's both entertaining and surprisingly heartfelt. In the first film, we meet Tree Gelman, a self-centered college student trapped in a time loop on her birthday. The catch is that she's being stalked and murdered by a masked killer every night. Tree must relive the same day over and over, trying to uncover her killer's identity and break the loop. Along the way, she forms an unlikely alliance with Carter, the sweet guy in whose room she keeps waking up in. The sequel kicks things up a notch by introducing a sci-fi element as Tree finds herself stuck in a parallel universe, again reliving her death day. This time, she's not just trying to save herself, but also her friends and loved ones from multiple dimensions. The stakes are higher, the laughs are bigger, and the emotional core is even stronger. They are light on gore, fun, relatable, and filled with positive messages about friendship, personal growth, and second chances. My 11-year-old loves these films, and I think kiddos ages 8 and up can handle them. They are the perfect blend of scares, laughs, and heart. Number 7. And number 7 is the delightfully creepy animated film Coraline. The film follows the adventures of a young girl who's just moved into a new home. Bored and feeling neglected by her busy parents, Coraline discovers a secret door that leads to an alternate version of her world, one that seems perfect at first glance. What makes Coraline such a great introduction to horror for older kids is its perfect balance of whimsy and creepiness. The stop-motion animation stunning, creating a visually captivating world that's both beautiful and unsettling. The film doesn't shy away from dark themes, addressing fears that resonate with children and adults alike: abandonment, loss of family, and the consequences of our choices. Coraline's more than just a scary story. It's a coming-of-age tale that respects its young audience. It doesn't sugarcoat the frightening elements, but presents them in a way that's engaging rather than traumatizing. For parents wondering if Coraline is too scary, it's worth noting that while the film has some genuinely creepy moments, it also features a brave, resourceful heroine who overcomes her fears. This one is frequently played during Halloween time in my household. My 7-year-old loves it, and she watched it for the first time when she was 6. If your kid's mature enough, I think they can handle it. Number 6. At number 6 is the movie featuring the titular character my 7-year-old is going to dress up as for Halloween this year, Megan. So Megan's about a roboticist named Gemma who becomes guardian to her orphan niece Katie. To help, she creates Megan, an advanced AI doll. At first, Megan was Katie's perfect companion. However, Megan's programming to protect Katie goes haywire, leading to increasingly violent behavior. As Megan becomes more dangerous, Gemma must fight to stop her creation and save her niece. This film perfectly blends horror and humor and is actually more scary for us parents trying to navigate today's world with our dependence on technology and AI's threat to our kids' futures. FYI, be sure you don't watch the director's cut, as that is an R-rated cut of the film that most assuredly is inappropriate for youngsters. Number 5. At number 5 is one of my all-time favorite movies, the 1984 classic Ghostbusters. Do I really need to tell you what this movie's about? I guess for the sake of this whole video, I'll do it. So, 3 wacky scientists trade lab coats for proton packs to bust New York's supernatural pests. Joined by a 4th guy who's just happy to be there, they face Slimers, possessed fridges, and a giant marshmallow man. Oh, and they might accidentally unleash an ancient god. Ghostbusters is an all-time classic because it's the perfect horror comedy cocktail. It's got just enough spooky to thrill kids, but with a heaping helping of laughs to keep the nightmares at bay. I'd say show this to them right out of the womb, but I feel like that's when this movie came into my life. If you have kids, chances are you've already shown them this. Number 4. At number 4 is the movie as legendary for its off-screen occurrences as it is for its on-screen, 1982's Poltergeist. This movie came before PG-13 was a rating, but it's a solid gateway horror film to show those older kids. In Poltergeist, the Freeling family's picture-perfect life gets a paranormal makeover when their TV starts chatting up their adorable 5-year-old, Carol Ann. Their house starts going bonkers with moving furniture, creepy clowns, and a portal to the spirit world in the closet. Come to find out, Dad's real estate company built their cozy community on top of a cemetery. Whoops! This classic is the perfect horror starter pack for kids. It's got just the right mix of scares and laughs with a heartwarming family story at its core. Plus, everyone survives, which is a great way to teach kids they can handle scary stuff without traumatizing them for the rest of their lives. Just be prepared for some potential clown-related nightmares and your kids suddenly becoming very interested in paranormal research. Number 3. Coming in at number 3 is the deranged Christmas story Gremlins. It's cute, creepy, and funny, all the ingredients to thrill those older kids. A well-meaning dad buys his son, Billy, a cute fuzzy creature called a mogwai for Christmas. Sounds sweet, right?
Nope.
This little ball of fluff comes with 3 crucial rules: no bright lights, no water, and absolutely positively no feeding after midnight. Naturally, all hell breaks loose when these rules are broken, and suddenly the town is overrun by mischievous, murderous gremlins wreaking havoc on Christmas Eve. The movie's a bit of the Goonies meets the horror genre with some of that sweet 80s nostalgia that parents love. If your kids are like mine, they appreciate watching these old movies. Number 2? At number 2 is a movie that will blow your older child's mind, 1999's The Sixth Sense. This is one of my favorite spooky season flicks to throw on, and when I showed it to my oldest a couple years ago, she was simply gobsmacked. The Sixth Sense is a movie in which Bruce Willis plays a child psychologist trying to help a kid who sees dead people. This pint-sized medium, brilliantly played by Haley Joel Osment, drops truth bombs left and right, making adults question their sanity and their fashion choices from the 90s. This flick is a classic for a good reason. It's got more twists than a pretzel factory and an ending that'll make you want to rewatch the whole thing immediately. It's the perfect gateway horror for those kids who are ready to graduate from Goosebumps, but aren't quite prepared for chainsaw-wielding maniacs. With just the right balance of scares, suspense, and I see dead people quotability, The Sixth Sense is sure to give you and your kids a hair-raising good time. Sorry, it's corny, I couldn't help myself. Number 1. And now for the piece de resistance, a movie that will test your little thrill seeker's tolerance. Quite possibly the scariest PG-13 movie ever made, 2002's The Ring. I know, this isn't a movie you just toss on for those little ones, and even if they can handle some horror, this movie was able to scare the most giant, tough guy in the neighborhood. But with that said, kids these days getting health and fashion advice from TikTokers. My oldest watched this at a friend's house and she was less than impressed. She's more scared of failing her math test than watching this movie, but whatever. I'm a good dad. I promise. So let's talk a little bit about the movie. There's this creepy videotape that's like a chain letter from hell. You watch it and you get a spooky phone call saying you'll die in a week. Our intrepid journalist, Rachel, played by Naomi Watts, decides to play detective and ends up in a race against time to solve the mystery before she kicks the bucket. Along the way, she uncovers a twisted tale of a seriously messed up kid with some next level psychic powers and a family that definitely won't be winning any parenting awards. Now, why is this a great intro to horror for kids? Well, it's like horror training wheels, I think. It's scary enough to give them chills, but not so terrifying that you're gonna need to pay for a therapist for the rest of their lives. Trust me, they ain't cheap. Plus, it's got that cool mystery element that'll keep their little detective brains engaged. Just be prepared for them to side-eye the TV for a while. In a nutshell, that's what I got for you this week. Are there any movies you'd add to this list? What are your thoughts on any or all of these movies? And most importantly, would you let your most precious possessions in this world embark on a wild ride most of these films will take them on? We love horror movies in my house, except for my wife.
She's a boring.
If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it immensely if you'd like or subscribe. If you didn't, well, I can't believe you watched this far. I have no idea why you would. If you could, head to the shorts section on my channel to check the reviews of all the latest movies and shows. As always, the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone, but what do I know? I'm but a mere jackass. I'll try to do better next time. Highly unlikely. Catch you later, friends.
That talks too much. I'm just a jackass of all trades. Don't know shit. I'll keep on talking, acting like I'm so legit. From politics to sports.